All right, now not a little bit harder problem is if they asked you what percent scored less than a 27. So the problem with the 27 is it's not exactly a number of standard deviations above or below the mean. So a 27 is going to be somewhere right over here, and I want to know what percent scored less. So we know that if we looked from a 25 down, there's 68% in here and 16 more over here, because we know there's another 16 over here. 16 is less than 1, and there's 68 in the middle here. So we know it's going to be more than, right here's one standard deviation, so that's a 68. So we know it's more than 84%, but 2 and above is 2.5%, so it's less than 97.5. So somewhere in the middle of 84 and 97.5 is going to be our answer, but we're not sure exactly where. So that's where we go to this Z formula that they talked about in the videos. So a Z formula, our Z score equals X minus X bar, which is your mean, divided by your standard deviation. So I used X bar and standard deviation because it would be from a sample. I could have also used mu or sigma for that also. So this sometimes will look like Z equals X minus mu over the standard deviation. This is if you have a population. This one's if you have a sample. So I'm choosing from a sample in my class for this. So my X score that we're looking for is the 27. The mean is 20, and the standard deviation is 5. So that gives us 7 over 5, which is 1 2/5, or it's 1.4, and that's how many standard deviations above the mean that you are. Sorry, that's kind of messy, but drawing on the drawing board with my finger gets a little messy. Sorry about that. Okay, but I'm 1.4 standard deviations above the mean. So to figure out the answer for that on what the percentage is, we use that Z table, which hopefully will pop up here for me. Okay, so in the back of your book, there's a couple pages in the table section that has these normal curves. Okay, so on those normal curves, what we're going to do, remember we had the number 1.4. So we look to 1.0 in here in the 0.04, and where that 1.0 and the 0.04 meet, it's the 0.8508. Okay, right in that area there. So it'd be about 85% of the students scored less than a 27. So that's all that area over here that we had. Okay, so 85% of the students scored less than a 27. So that's how you can use your Z formula and your Z score that you get, and then the table in the back of the book to get your answer. I'll show you one other problem here in a second that will make that a little easier. We can use a calculator to get that answer.